What is up, Karatics? In this video, we'll be talking about this week's Triple Money Event Week, as well as the newest additions and discounts as well. This event week is for November 22nd through November 30th, 2022. And yes, for some reason, Rockstar decided to release this event week on Tuesday instead of the usual Thursday for this week, which is pretty strange, but possibly it might have something to do with Thanksgiving falling on the Thursday and they wanted to do it on Tuesday instead. However, for next week, it will return to the usual Thursday for the event weeks. But anyways, for new content this week, we finally received the Sentinel Classic wide body on Benny's, which of course was the 12th and last drip feed car of the DLC. This was a total of 4 months of drip feed for this DLC, which was pretty insane. But it's finally over, and we're approximately only about 3 weeks from the December DLC, which is very exciting. But anyways, the current prize ride for this week is the Visor Neo. This car is primarily based on the Spiker C8 aileron and has a normal price of just under 1.9 million, so a very expensive one for sure. To get this car for free, you have to place top 1, meaning first place, in a Pursuit Series race for 5 days in a row. Which honestly, that's pretty ridiculous, having to get online every day for almost the whole week. You're honestly better off doing a couple Kaio Heist, if I'm being honest. Now, in terms of performance, this car is in a sports class and is in top 5 depending on the track. Its main weakness is handling, but other than that, it's a fast sports car with some great customization and a pretty decent driving experience as well. In terms of the test ride vehicles for this week, we have the LM87, the Torero XO, and the SM722. And for next gen console players, we have the Astron Custom as the HSW test ride vehicle for this week. Now, in terms of the casino podium vehicle, we have the Progen T20. This vehicle is primarily based on the McLaren P1 and has a normal price of 2.2 million. In terms of performance, it's in the supercar class and used to be the king back in 2015, but obviously a lot of cars have released since then, and the T20 now sits around 25th place for track performance of a supercar class, but honestly that's still pretty good. It's still a very quick car in general. In terms of the dealership cars for this week, for luxury autos we have the Deity and the Deluxo as well, and that one I find kind of weird. I never thought I would ever see the Deluxo at one of the dealerships, but anyways, for Sibians we have the Buffalo STX, the Vagrant, the Seminole Frontier, the Flash GT, and the Warner HKR as well. Moving on to discounts, in terms of property discounts, we have 40% off the auto shops, as well as 40% off the upgrades and renovations for them as well. And 50% off the bunkers plus the upgrades and renovations for them as well. I think this is a fantastic deal on a business that provides some great passive income. Moving on to vehicle discounts, we have 40% off the Omnis EGT. This car is in the sports car class and is a laughably slow electric car, way slower than the Neon and the Raiden, which are super old electric vehicles. It's honestly a real shame, and I don't see why Rockstar didn't make this car on par with those two, or maybe even a little bit quicker. However, the car in general does look pretty good and offers some decent customization, but the fact that it's so slow is really annoying, honestly. Moving on to the Severn San Andreas website, we have 40% off the Conjo SJ. This car is in the Coupes class and is one of the slowest ones in that class, but it is based on the Civic with tons of customization, which is what people mainly want from a car like this anyways. And lastly, we have 40% off the Greenwood. Now this car is actually in top 15 for the muscle car class for track performance, which is very impressive considering how this car looks and the fact that it's a sedan. It's kind of a sleeper, which that's pretty cool. And that's it for vehicle discounts this week. Only 3, so you might be wondering what the heck is going on. Well, that's not all the discounts for this event week. There will be a ton of discounts for Black Friday, just like they do every year, which I will definitely be making a video on, so stay tuned for that. Usually they put some ridiculous discounts, oppressors half price. I mean, it's absolutely insane, so definitely stay tuned for Friday. In terms of weapon discounts, we have 40% off the compact EMP launcher, the heavy rifle, and the stun gun as well. In terms of login unlocks, you can get the Rampage t-shirt and the Wasted t-shirt just for logging in this week, which is pretty cool. Now, if you complete the Pacific Standard Heist this week, you'll unlock the Pacific Standard sweater with the 5 stars on the sleeves, which is pretty sick. In terms of triple money, we have triple money NRP on pursuit races, Martin Madrazo contact missions, the adversary mode hunting pack remix, and CEO/member associate salaries as well. In terms of heist bonuses for this week, we have double money NRP on the Pacific Standard Heist, which would make the payout about 3.7 million, which is some pretty good money, honestly. But remember that these heists must be done with 4 players, and you have to share that payout between the 4 of you. But honestly, even then, this is still some decent money, especially if you use the old finale method, if you know what I mean. Should be some decent money. Plus, we also have double money NRP on the setups for all these OG heists as well. And lastly, we have 1.5 times money on the Doomsday Heist preps, but not on the heists themselves. Again, only the preps for the Doomsday Heist. Moving on to the Prime Gaming bonuses for Prime Gaming members only. So again, same as usual, we have the usual free $125,000 for logging in during the event week period, and the one-time 500k bonus for logging in anytime between November 3rd and December 7th if you haven't claimed that already. And lastly, this week's RC Bandito time trial is Construction Site 1. This week's normal time trial is Up and Atom. I highly recommend a car with a high top speed, or a fast bike such as the Hakachu Drag, Shotaro, or Batty 801 for this time trial. In terms of the premium race for this week, we have the motorcycle race Art to Art. I highly recommend RV Shotaro or a Hakachu Drag for that race. And if you're on next gen, I highly recommend using the HSW Hakachu Drag. And lastly, for next gen console users, the HSW time trial is Textile City. As always, the HSW Hakachu Drag will be the best one for these. In terms of my vehicle discount pick of the week so far, obviously you want to wait till Friday before buying anything, but between the 3 we talked about, which again is only 3 cars, I would probably say, at least in my opinion, the Greenwood is the best deal, but obviously that will vary from person to person. Again, Friday is the day. That's when you want to log on. We're going to see some insane discounts. Anyways, guys, hope this was helpful. Overall, this event week is pretty good, with the Sentinel Classic wide body finally releasing, and of course, triple money on some of those miscellaneous activities, and double money on Pacific Standard, which is pretty good. And with those discounts coming up on Black Friday, this is going to be a very, very good event week. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.